Hey guys, Derek Schwinn with Keller Williams Consultants Realty here with your Marysville, Ohio housing update for the month of January 2023. Stats, facts, and opinions to hopefully put you in the place you call home in a better position. Maybe you want to buy or sell. Whatever that might be, we hopefully will help you out with a little bit of information to put you in that spot. So I like to talk about three things on these market updates: competition, financing, and, do you remember? Timing. Sorry, I like to test her. How long is it going to take to sell your house? Is now a good time to sell? All those kind of things. So anyway, we will go through that here in a second. But why don't you ask your first question?
Okay, first question comes to mind is I think we are starting to come out of a big seller's market right now. What does an ideal seller's market look like versus an ideal buyer's market?
Okay. If you know, comment down below or somewhere. See what you guys think. So a balanced market. Have you ever heard me say this? Do you remember that? I guess that's skipping ahead, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll not go there. So a seller's market, an ideal seller's market, everything's driven by supply and demand. An ideal seller's market is lots of people wanting to buy and not very many people selling. So with a lack of supply and an increase in demand, that creates a situation where properties sell really quick at a high price. A balanced market, to skip ahead a little bit, is 6 months worth of inventory. Months of inventory, how many listings are on the market, how many are selling in 30 days in a month, and then at that rate, how long would it take to sell all the houses on the market if no new listings came on the market? You look at the numbers. Do you remember where we're at about?
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, so months of inventory or absorption rate.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's the 100%, around 100%, right? Or no, that's the sales to listing.
Yep.
Over.
So how many listings are on the market right now? You remember?
In the Marysville?
Mm-hmm. We'll focus on Marysville.
19?
Yep. I think 19 today. Fluctuates a little bit here and there. Do you remember about how many sell in the last 30 days?
I don't know about that one.
About 30 or so,
okay.
Give or take. So if 30 houses, so basically that's one house a day, for a given month of inventory. And if we're at 19, so in 19 days, all of the inventory would be gone if nothing new came on the market. So anyway, all that to go back to what's this really mean for you guys out there. We've been in the seller's market. We've been under 6 months of inventory for as long as I can remember. It's been a while, probably 5 or 6 years since we've been, maybe even longer than that. I lose track of time these days. An ideal seller's market is lots of people buying, not very many people selling, so you don't have much competition. So that's where we've been for a while. We're under a month of inventory right now, and we have been fluctuating about there at a month of inventory for a while. On the flip side of that, go ahead.
But I feel like because houses were selling really well, then a lot of people started selling their houses.
And so as a result, a lot of people bought houses.
Okay, so then there was always kind of like a consistent, like a lot on the market, but then they got bought really fast, so then there weren't a lot on the market, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so average days on market has been like at the low, like nine days on market, and right now I think we're at 21.
Yeah.
Which is high for the last 2-year average. So basically, anything, for the most part, things that were good, things that people wanted, only lasted a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And so there really wasn't much tenure on the market of time spent on market for people to look at it, go through it, do all the things like historically people have been able to do. So yeah, that active listing point on those numbers that we go through,
they're constantly changing too.
Yeah, and constantly changing. So
it's not the same ones.
Right,
on the market.
they're cycling through.
Okay.
Yep, cycling through. So they go from sometimes they go from coming soon to active to pending pretty quickly, or in contract.
Yeah, within days.
Within days, yes. Now it's 20 days, but it was very quick. Yeah. So on the other side of that, what's an ideal buyer's market is lots of houses to pick from, not very many people picking them, which means the sellers, back after '08, 2011, 10, 12 in there were lots of sellers trying to get rid of their house. They needed to make a move. They needed to do something, and people weren't buying it. So sellers lowered their prices, tried to come up with creative ways to entice buyers, real estate agents to focus on their property and sell the property. So just the other side of the spectrum. We haven't been there for a while.
Yeah.
So then your next question, we can...
Yeah, I guess kind of where are we right now between a buyer's and seller's market, and how do you go from a seller's market to a buyer's market? How does that happen?
Well, we might be heading that direction. If I had a crystal ball, I would make a lot of money, but we don't really know. So where are we right now? Like I said, we're at under a month of inventory. So we are in a seller's market pretty significantly, but interest rates were going down end of January, early February. They were heading down. So it was becoming more of a buyer's market again, that people were having more buying power because interest rates were getting better. We were getting a little more inventory, and that's starting to get gobbled up again because I think people aren't going to wait for interest rates to go down like they were. People have realized if they want to make a move, they need to get moving and kind of jump on things. So how, part of your question being how do we get back to a buyer's market? It's quite complex. We, kind of your question earlier of if you sell high, you have to buy high. Well, you don't have to buy high, but most of the time you're going to want to buy something nicer than you were in for most people. So that will require higher financial contribution to get there. But it's kind of a perpetual thing that one makes more of the other. A seller becomes a buyer unless they go live in a van or pass away. So until there are more... Anyway, I guess I don't know what the answer is. I could spout off a lot of things, but I don't necessarily have the answer. So
I'm sure it obviously happens over a good amount of time too. I just doing those weekly market updates. I'm expecting to see big changes every week, and it's just very
slow and steady.
Gradual, yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race, as they say. But yeah, it's definitely a slow thing. And I think the other thing that I've got some slides in here I'll try to throw in, maybe it'll help, but headlines do more to terrify than clarify. And there are some of these headlines that come out that make you think things are horrible, and there's plenty of information to show the other side of the coin. Let's see if I can pull a few of them up here that I got saved. We're in the low 6% mortgage rate, which these folks are saying indicates good buyer demand. So that's helping in that capacity. What were we talking about? I'm drawing a blank now. I got sidetracked.
How you go from a seller's market to a buyer's market. What a good buyer's market looks like. Slow and steady wins the race.
Thank you. I was looking for this quote. So because headlines do more to terrify than clarify, this stat shows 67% of Americans say a housing market crash is imminent in the next 3 years. Okay. So that must have been some poll taken somewhere. And this quote here I'll read. 18 months after the end of the government's foreclosure moratorium, and with less than 5% of the 8.4 million borrowers who entered the CARES Act forbearance program remaining, foreclosure activity remains significantly lower than it was prior to COVID-19 pandemic. It seems clear that government and mortgage industry efforts during the pandemic, coupled with a strong economy, have helped prevent millions of unnecessary foreclosures. So that's a good one. And the other quote that I was going to reference Best laid plans. Okay, the other one wouldn't pull up, but the I think probably one of the gooder. We can edit that out as well. One of the better quotes. The bottom line is there will be an increase in foreclosures over the next year from record low levels, but there will not be a huge wave of distressed sales as happened following the housing bubble. The distressed sales during the housing bust led to cascading price declines, and that will not happen this time. I think I still need to...
So they're going to get more, but they've been so low that it's not like a crazy amount.
Crazy low. Yeah, let's see if this slide will pull up. Yeah, so this slide here, I'll put it up on the screen. U.S. foreclosure activity doubles annually, but still below pre-pandemic levels. So if you look back, so this is where... you were like 5 years old or so.
I can't read.
7 and 8. I'm just kidding. You were like graduating.
Oh, 2019? Is that what that says?
So anyway, leading into 2007, 2008, 2009, foreclosures went from 1.3 million, 2.3 million, 2.8, 2.9, and then 11, 12 on decline, to a low of 151,000 in 2021. 22 had 324. So, it's going up, but here's where there was a problem of 2.8, 2.9 million in 2 different years where things got really, really bad. So, if everybody that says 2008 is going to happen again, maybe, but we're still quite a ways away from it.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah. And
we're nowhere near.
Right. So, that's the biggest thing. The bottom line, things are going to increase, but not dramatically. And this other slide kind of spelled that out a little more, but I can't get it to pull up. All right, let's run through some numbers real quick. So, again, what do we like to cover?
Timing. That was the one I got wrong at the beginning.
How competitive is the market out there? What's it going to cost to buy or sell a house?
And timing.
And timing. There we go. All right, so drum roll. So, 28 listings on the market on average for January. 18 new listings came on the market, fairly low. 41 pending during the month, and 22 closed for the month. So, big numbers here. Pending went up by 105% month over month and up 11%. The Columbus MLS was down 0.5%. So, things continue to be pressured here. More contracts, more going on. It shows closed volume was down 27% year over year compared to 21 for the Columbus MLS. Excuse me. And new listings were down 40% month over month, but up 13% year over year. Year over year for the Columbus MLS, 35% positive. So at least we're seeing more listings come on. But to get back to your question of what's this mean for everybody out there, to get back to a buyer's market where buyers have the advantage and prices get better.
They have to stay. The same ones have to stay for a while, don't they?
Same who?
The same houses. Have to stay on the market for a while, but they're still going pretty fast, I feel like.
Right. So this average days on market of 15 needs to go up significantly. Yeah. But this new listings, we need to get more coming on the market and sitting. Mm-hmm. And so we're up 13% year over year. Compared to December, we're down 40%. So from a competition standpoint, we're having a little bit more come on the market year over year. Significantly more, 105% more went into contract. A little bit less closed, but that in contract pending number definitely shows that things are increasing and getting more and more. Financials. Asking price for a house was $438,000, up 2% from last month, up 11% from year over year, compared to 16% increase year over year for the Columbus MLS. So surprisingly, we're lagging Columbus by 5% on asking price. But maybe that means we're just getting smarter and not asking for as much as we could be as other places are. Because we are at $345,000 for a sold price. So significantly lower. But that is the sold price of actually what dollars people are actually getting, 12% year over year. So still improving there. So we were just talking about this earlier. I need to dig into these numbers more, but $438,000 as an asking price and $345,000 as a closed price doesn't equate to 97% listing price for sold price. So that's a ratio we like to look at of what are people asking for their house, and what are they actually getting for their house? Is it here? Is it here? Where does that fall? If the average asking is $438,000 and the average closed is $345,000,
it's almost $100,000 difference.
Fairly significant, not 3%, as this number indicates here. So I don't know if that probably back in the day that you could have said that was for properties that are expiring and coming off of the market, so they never show a closed price. They were priced too high, and then they faded away. Maybe that's the case. But either way, the good news for sellers is 12% higher selling price that you're getting out of your homes. But bad news for buyers. Good answer. So average asking the average price per a square foot of a house is $165,000, which is up 17% month over month, down 1% year over year. Days on market, 15%. Oh, sorry, I didn't announce we were doing timing now. Days on market, 15. Housing absorption rate, 0.8 of a month. So, again, less than a month of inventory out there. So, the other big thing about timing is when should you buy a house? When should you sell a house? As far as buying a house, I don't think there's any reason to wait. Rates might go down here soon, but you never know. Normally I like to say if you've got a good opportunity, don't waste it. Move forward and do what you need to do or want to do. But if it's just a curious or a passing curiosity that you want to buy a house, probably not the time until you're ready for it. Okay, here's an interesting side note. I went through, and since there's only, I think 2 days ago when I did this, there was like 15 listings on the market. How long do you think it would take to drive to each listing on the market right now in the Marysville School District?
Like every house?
That you could put an offer on and buy.
But like physically drive to each. Okay. All 15 of them, right? Okay. An hour?
Yeah, I think it was like an hour and 9 minutes, something like that. An hour and 9 minutes to drive and see every property you could put an offer on right now. So just kind of a weird way of showcasing how few houses there actually are on the market. And I counted just before this, and I think it was, of the 19 or whatever it is today, 19 or 20, like 8 of them are new builds. So existing inventory is down significantly. So anything else you'd like to share with the audience?
Nope.
Call us if you'd like to. What?
Not that I can think of.
Not that you can think of. Okay. Well, thanks for listening to us. So there's a lot of numbers and a lot of us talking, at least me rambling about housing inventory, housing forecasts, and what's going on right now. But at the end of the day, half of it comes down to what's the story being told out there? What are you guys hearing out there? Let us know. Comment down below, above, send us a message, whatever. But get your facts straight. Know what you're talking about. If you're talking about the housing market, there aren't too many indicators that are showing it's going to be like 2008. There's a decent possibility that could be the case because you never know. And if the story being told out there is doom and gloom, that might be what comes. So if you have anything you want to share with us, we'd love to hear it. Love to talk to you guys. And if there's anything we can do for you, we're here for you. So until next time, take care.